babe, I forgot the ice. I'll be right back.
Okay. Get some snacks too.
Okay.
Hey, excuse me, sir. Did you forget something?
Actually, yes, we forgot a bag of ice for our drinks.
Worth one probetsu. We could take care of that for you. Follow me. You said you needed ice?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you needed?
Yes, maybe some snacks.
Sure. Okay, your order's complete, sir. Your order should be here shortly.
All right, great. Thank you.
Sir, here's your order.
All right.
Thanks.
Suzumasu.
One probetsu.
Yes. All right, I apologize. Senator Muñoz, we're back to your motion, and that was second by Senator Muñoz.
I think Senator Sabina and I would like
Hi
to
guys.
put her hand up.
Hi, buenas and half a day. Mariana's in Micronesia, and welcome to Kandit News. There is something going on down right now at the Guam legislature. Well, not at the legislature. They're having a Zoom appropriations committee hearing. It's about the budget. I only tuned in the last 10 minutes, right, Cello?
Right.
You have your camera on you, Cello, so people can see you too?
It will be soon.
Okay. So I believe this is the committee discussing amendments to the budget bill. So, before it goes to the floor of the legislature, the committees get to make amendments to bills and stuff like that. But how it works in the budget, they've ever since the WTeff speakership days, they've made these rules so that it's very hard to make amendments on the floor of the legislature once it exits the appropriations committee, or they call it sometimes the Ways and Means Committee. So what I think is happening is that the Leon Guerrero aligned Democrats in the legislature are trying to bully their way through the budget before it gets to the floor of the legislature and prevent amendments from being made. And so what they've done over the past several minutes is blocked out any member of the legislature who's not a member of the Ways and Means Committee or the Appropriations Committee from speaking on the budget or making any amendments. Very draconian, actually, of the Appropriations Committee. And there was something that just went down between Senator Regine Bisco-Lee and Senator Tello Taidui. I'm going to rewind this live session right now so that we can hear. Are we able to? Wait, hold on one second. There's a release that just came in from the JIC. Wow, news is just flowing in today.
I see your computer, Chilla, when you're ready.
Okay. Stand by. Let me just JIC release. 2 additional GPD officers test positive for COVID-19. GPD Services Bureau temporarily suspends operations. GPD was made aware of 2 police officers who had tested positive for COVID-19. The officers are currently in home isolation. The 2 officers are assigned to GPD's Specialized Unit and GPD's Administrative Services Bureau, with each officer having minimal contact to the greater community. Hold on, thank God 76 Circle K is still open. Oh, I'm starving. All right. That's COVID news. That's boring. Let's get back to the real stuff.
Earlier today, one of our members is positive for COVID. And so
All right.
Do we have a second on that?
Let's listen to the legislature now.
I second.
All right, let's discuss that, please. Open for discussion. We have Senator Lee. If you can discuss that, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have no problem with, working with our executive director in preparation for Monday session. I do have some concerns that As disclosed to the media earlier today, one of our members is positive for COVID. And so we're gonna have a challenge with this person participating in our session. And I think it's really unfortunate that because of this situation, this individual won't be able to participate. So I just, in the meantime, we still have Thursday and Friday that we could be very productive, and just keeping in mind that we're all employed by the people of Guam. These are taxpayer dollars that are going to fund our operations and our activities. And I think that it's very important that we continue to do our jobs in the most productive way possible, especially with this amendment passing. We can actually get some amendments passed, discussed and passed, get some movement on this bill, because like you've mentioned, Mr. Chair, we have a deadline looming at the end of the month. And I think that we just all need to be cognizant of the people who have sent us here and do the job that they've asked us to do. Mrs. Masi.
All right, we have Senator Amanda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'd like to also echo the same sentiments as Senator Lee. I think we just passed that amendment or that motion a couple of minutes ago that will allow us to move forward in the committee. So if we can continue doing that. I'm also concerned that we haven't received clearance yet for every member in the body, all of the test results for our staff and for the members, and the clearance from public health for us to return to the building. So I'd like to first have that reassurance before we go back into session. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Looking if there was anybody else. I think Senator Mary Camacho Torres, you had a question, ma'am? Disregard. Okay, disregard. All right. So that being said, now we're already on page.
Oh, here we go. This is
Go
it.
for it, Senator Moylan. Go for it.
Sorry, I was just, I do have a comment, but I also want to acknowledge Senator Taitakui Tello, if you want to do that.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, go ahead, Senator Tello.
Mr. Chair and members of this committee, it was agreed upon at the very beginning that we would have this virtual meeting to discuss the bills and to incorporate all members of the legislature. And right now, you're stopping any of us who are not members of this committee to not participate. This is an injustice to all of us. We can participate. We didn't even have a chance to vote on this amendment or this motion that was made. You didn't even give us the opportunity to do so. Are you guys muffling us, those who are not involved in this committee? It's very disingenuous. So the people of Guam need to know, and continue to smile, Regine Disco Lee. It's not funny. It's not funny when you don't allow all members of this legislature to participate in the making of the. I am talking. It is unfair and you not allow any of us to participate that is not part of the membership. If we were in the legislature, we would not have to be doing this, Mr. Chairman. We would all be able to participate.
Okay.
But now, only those who are in this committee, which is made up of 11 individuals, and one that was not here, can only participate in the budget bill. That's very disingenuous, very unfair to all of us who are not doing this. And I don't. This
Okay.
Fine. Go
Okay,
ahead,
thank you.
Eugene. Get in.
All right. Thank you, Senator Tello. I understand your. Okay, Senator Lee, you wanted to comment?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to remind all the members to please read the amendment. It was placed in the chat for everybody to read, and I read it aloud 2 times. So again,
Yes, and point of information, the amendment reads, I move to allow all members.
Joe,
members.
mute people.
We are not members, is my.
Pause. Folks.
Oh, he Janella her.
They read the motion. All right. Let's move on. Okay.
Wow.
Joe, do we have DOE available now? So we can move on to what we're going to discuss. Or as a matter of fact, let's go back first to Senator Moylan's motion to end it. Do we have a green light, Senator Lee, from your Joe, You're it, Executive Director, because I just
Sorry,
talked to him, he
Mr.
said
Chair. In the same way that Senator Titlegy was very concerned about not having everybody participate, I again just would like to register my concerns about moving forward with the in-person session, given that one, potentially more of our members we're still pending test results from, might not be able to participate in session in person. And so that's, my consideration. I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to participate, absolutely. And so I just wanted to reiterate that, Mr. Chair.
Just a point of information, Mr. Chair, when it says, I move that allow all members, are you talking about only the committee members, or are you talking every senator that's in here?
Mr. Chair, it's my understanding that the motion was made, it was seconded, there was an opportunity for discussion. It's unfortunate that this question wasn't raised during that time. But you know what?
We were not allowed to participate. We're not members.
Committee, Mr. Chair. So however you want to move forward.
Once again, Mr. Chair, we were not allowed to participate in the discussion. You said that this discussion was only meant for members of your committee. So that blocked out the remaining of the senators that are not members? This is a budget bill, and we're discussing it. We can't make any decisions on this budget bill without being in session to solidify it. But I don't understand. You have to have a minimum of 6 co-sponsors for your amendments. It's ridiculous. This is very unfair, and I hope the media sees.
Thank you, Senator.
Wait, hold on. Let's comment on this real fast. First of all, I love this so much. I love it. I love it when the Guam legislature, the people who control the legislature, lose control of the sheeple mentality. When they screw up so bad that they mostly count on the rest of the senators to be sheeple and to not want to engage and confront. But of course, you're going to have senators like Tello Titlegy and Therese Terlahi, occasionally Jim Moylan and Mary Torres and Clinton Ridgell, or sometimes even Pito Terlahi gets pretty pissed off and come up and say something. And this is one of those moments, and I love it so much. Senator Regine Bisco-Lee, who's not running for re-election, she is trying to keep her composure. Senator Joseph Augustine, the chairman of the committee, who has just lost complete control of his committee as much as he tried to control it by muting out non-members of his committee and by also muting Senator Titlegy in the middle of her confrontation. But my favorite, Chelu, is Daphne Shimizu. If you see her, she's on the top, second to the top right underneath Mary Torres. At one point, you can see her. It almost looks like she's filing her nails. It's my favorite part. I mean, she's not, but she's trying to keep calm and not laugh. Let's continue, because I don't think this tirade's over. Hold on, and good for Senator Titlegy for speaking up. Yep. Good for her. Here, let's continue playing it.
Hello. Thank you for your comments. Moving along, do we have DOE yet, Joe? Do we have DOE?
Poor
Let's
Joe
see.
Messman.
I do have,
We're on chapter 2. Where are we at with DOE? It's 127. You said you bring them on.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to
I'm
make
waiting for them with this.
Senator
Sir, before you continue with DOE, we still have to dispose of Senator Moylan's motion. Sorry.
Yes. All right, I apologize. Senator Moylan, we're back to your motion, and that was second by Senator Muña.
I think Senator Sabina and I would like to discuss. I saw her hand up before mine, but I'd also like to discuss.
And that's to discuss the motion. Go ahead then, Senator Sabina.
Yes, so Mr. Chair, I would like to make the motion to reconsider the amendment since I was not present. And I think, as one of the people that the people elected to represent, as one of the senators that the people elected, I feel that, if we're trying to limit the discussion to only a group of members that I think that's, it's undemocratic.
Mhm.
And considering that when we came out of committee of the whole to go back into committee, there was the understanding that no amendments were going to be passed, and that it was basically going to be a discussion, and it wasn't going to be, we weren't going to vote on amendments. So I think by just allowing a certain proportion of people, I actually wasn't sent the amendment myself, so I'm kind of coming at this blindly. And I think that, if we're trying to squelch any kind of discussion, it doesn't go well for the people of Guam. We're here to represent the people. And if you're only going to allow certain members to vote on it, we're no longer in a democratic society.
You go, girl.
And I think this is, I would like to make the motion to reconsider the amendment, especially since I was not able to read it. It was not sent to me, by the way.
You go,
It's
girl.
on the chat. It's on the chat. Everybody that showed up on time looked at it on the chat. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Senator Sabina.
These
If
tactics.
you're not a member, you don't even get to vote. We're not part of your committee. We don't even get to vote. So even on the reconsideration, we're not allowed to vote.
Okay. Moving along, Senator Therese, you wanted to comment? Senator Sabina made her comment. I understand where she's coming from. Moving on, Senator Therese, what do you have?
Sure. Yes. So on the motion, I too am very concerned that this motion was made and it very much changes what was said in session and that all the members voted on in session. And it's making these changes by committee vote, and which is a very limited number of votes. And and of course, without much notice, I would prefer that it be reconsidered or just withdrawn, and that at the very minimum that all senators be brought along, that they be notified of what the big change is going to be made in this committee. For example, knowing that no amendments were going to be made in committee, if that changed and they didn't know about it, that might explain. Some of them aren't even present right here, right now, because that was not the rules of the game when we came in. And I just think to avoid this type of controversy, while we need to focus, and I take great exception to this rhetoric that we have been unproductive. Budget amounts are very unclear between OFB and BBMR. And if we're not going to get to the bottom of why there's this huge distinction between revenue projections or what's a necessary expenditure, then I don't know what else we're supposed to be doing in here. For me, that's what we're doing. And it's very productive because we've exposed gaps. We've exposed what's not being accounted for in this budget. We've exposed what their rationale is. And that's where we have to take it and decide whether that's good enough for the public, for the people of Guam, or it's not. And so I don't think we've been unproductive. I think the discussions are good and they should continue. And we can discuss amendments. There's no problem with discussing amendments, but I don't think that amendment that changes how we proceed here should be done without the rest of the senators present with some kind of notice and able to discuss that motion as well, or to vote on it.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Senator. Speaker Munya, you have something you want to say, ma'am?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And in light of the information that's been provided, I think it's important that the committee take the opportunity to look at the first amendment that allowed every member to come in to speak on the committee and go from there, because we need to check with legal if the motion was made was binding or not. So just in fair perspective and parity, that we ask the interpretation based on the morning motion that was made this morning.
All right. Okay, thank you. We have GDOE here. We're going to move to chapter 2. We'll hold off on the motion we have to just bring some clarity here, but let's move along. We're on chapter 2, page 10. We have DOE. Sarnarm, where are you at? Are you here? Oh, there you are, Tom. You swear in.
Okay,
We'd like to recognize.
While they are doing that,
We have Miss Christine. I'm trying to find you. Miss Christine
that's
there?
boring.
Where's Christine?
Hold on,
Garcia?
let me
Oh, there.
just. There we
Christine
go.
Garcia's there. We have Zenny from DOE. The deputy superintendent.
Yeah. Blah 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 blah, Joe. That's nice. So, while they're doing that, we want to hear what John Fernandez has to say, but they're going to do the whole swearing-in thing. So, the amendment, or that whole thing that they were arguing about, is an amendment or a motion by Senator Regine Bisco-Lee that says, and this is within the Committee on Appropriations. So she says, notwithstanding the House rules, I move that the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriations, and Housing be authorized to conduct a formal markup of Bill 282-35. A markup is a changing process, an amendment process, where you change the bill or the resolution or whatever, and then you forward it to the full legislature as substituted during this committee meeting, and that the committee proceed with such markup using as guidance the standard operating procedures established by the Committee on Rules for virtual public hearings. Okay, I move to allow all members during this committee meeting to proffer amendments to Bill 282 as substituted for the committee's consideration, provided that, check this out, prior to any amendment being entertained, it must, 1, be submitted to the committee electronically, and 2, have a minimum of 6 co-sponsors. What they're trying to do is make it impossible to change the budget bill as amended already or as substituted by the committee. What they're trying to do is to make it so what they have proposed in their budget is what those allied with the Leandro administration don't want changed. They want it to remain, especially the revenue level, the busting of the 2% reserve, or what's called the rainy day fund, the tax refunds level. Even though Senator Therese Sherlocki in budget hearing yesterday went, mathematically showed, and Senator Telos Hadegui, both of them, they mathematically showed how what they want to budget or what they want to set aside of revenues for tax refunds is not enough, despite what administration officials have said. So that's why Telos Hadegui, it looks like Sabina Perez, Therese Sherlocki are saying, whoa. Let's not be too hasty here, because this is not right. Senator Sabina Perez saying this seems pretty undemocratic. You bet your bottom dollar it is. Nowhere else in the legislature is there a rule that says in order to offer an amendment, you need to have 6 co-sponsors. Hold on, because I'm hungry. Jesus, this is so good. This is almost like the Mrs. Ongakta's hot dog.
Yes.
The bread is so soft.
Yes.
And the onions. You like onions in your hot dog? I like onions on my hot dog. All right. Let's go back to the legislature and see what's going on.
Senator Munoz, Speaker Munoz, Tina Munoz Barnes, you have a question, ma'am? Go ahead.
Yes, I do, sir, and it's for the executive director in reference to the federal grants and the budget that is being received by DOE. If the budget does not fulfill the requirements for the federal grants, how will that impact the grants moving forward?
Ma'am, why don't we wait until we open up DOE and then we can go from there? Are you referring to that letter that the superintendent submitted to the body?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as we move along, when we start the chapter, then we can go through that.
Jim Moylan's laughing.
Also, Mr. Chair, on the clarification, if you're based on the motion that was made this morning, I think it's real important that we get the clerk or staff to revisit the motion that was made for error.
Right, okay, we'll get legal folks to look at that, but let's get ready for. Is the vice speaker, the oversight chair, on yet, Joe?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, if you could just a point of order, was Senator Moylan's motion considered or withdrawn?
It was not.
Oh, that wasn't withdrawn. I apologize. I forgot all about Senator Moylan. Senator Moylan, you made a motion that was seconded by Senator Munia. Do we have any objection to ending this virtual and preparing to go on session on Monday? Do we have any objection?
No.
Mr.
Do you
Chair.
have an objection? Yes,
Mr. Chair?
Senator Amanda.
Well, I have no objection to the actual amendment about going into session on Monday, but I would like to amend the amendment maybe to be that we reconvene in session on Monday pending the clearance from public health.
I second that amendment to the amendment.
Okay, let's open up for discussion. Does anybody want to discuss that amendment?
Mr. Chair, are we allowed to speak? Since
Yes.
we're not members, are we allowed to speak on this?
Yes, you're allowed. I'm opening this. I've opened everything up. And we did that at the beginning, but Senator Tello.
Yeah, and so that means we could have voted on that motion by Senator Regine earlier. We could have voted on that. But now you're allowing us to vote on this motion?
Senator Tello, do you want to make comment to this motion to end the virtual and go back to session?
I want an answer.
I'm asking you a specific question, Senator Tello. You were invited and you were endorsed by everybody to participate in this virtual. Do you want to make a comment in reference to going back to session on Monday? There's an amendment to that question that was posed.
Okay, and my question is, Mr. Chair, are we able to vote on that amendment?
I'm asking you, do you want to speak in reference to this motion?
Yes.
I'm asking everybody here.
In this motion, but I'm asking you, are we able to vote on it?
Yes, I'm going to allow you to be able to vote. Do you
Okay,
want to
so
go back to
non-members-
session?
So non-members now can vote on this motion by Senator Jim Moylan, is what you're saying, Mr. Chair?
That's correct, because it's about ending the virtual and going back into session. The previous amendment was nothing to do with going back to session. It's about committee action. Now, do you want to speak in reference to this, ma'am?
This
Yes
is a
or no?
committee action. This is, okay.
Do you want to speak on this one, Senator Tello?
No, I just wanted to verify that it's okay to vote for this motion, but it's not okay to vote for the first motion.
Okay, I guess you're not commenting. Does anybody else want to make a comment in reference to any comment in reference to the amendment that Senator Amanda has proffered to Senator Moylan's amendment? Motion.
This is so good.
Senator Reese.
Yes, I know that we would be reconvening in the committee of the whole. And while we
That's
were
correct.
in the committee of the whole last time, we allowed virtual participation by some of the panel members. I guess I would like to allow that virtual participation during committee of the whole be allowed by members of the legislature if they are unable to attend, if that is cleared by legal. I wish legal was here so we could hear from them directly. Mr. Chair, we're going to act on motions like this.
And I support that, Senator Therese. I support that anybody that's not available, that can commit, still be able to participate virtually.
Mr. Chair, can we vote on the amendment to the amendment if there's no other discussion? Because
No, there's still discussion, Madam Speaker. Senator Lee, you want to raise your hand?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I agree with some of what Senator Therese Terlahi has just brought up, but we need to tread very carefully. There have been raised in previous discussions these Organic Act issues with regard to us participating virtually. We can have virtual discussions. We can invite people in the committee of the whole. So I agree with Senator Terlahi that we need to have our legal bureau vet whether.
Hold on, we have breaking news. Sorry, we have to interrupt the circus because we do have breaking news from the Joint Information Center. COVID-19 test results are reported from multiple labs at varying times of the day. The following breakdown provides cumulative COVID-19 test results for Wednesday, August 19. So it says the samples tested were on August 18. That's yesterday. Out of 363 samples taken at Public Health, 9 were positive. Out of none taken at Naval Hospital, none. Out of 75 taken at DLS, 9 were positive. Out of 45 taken at GMH, 2 were positive. 0 at Guam National Guard. 30 taken at GRMC with 1 positive. 11 taken at private clinics with 1 positive. So total confirmed 22 new cases. For total cases so far of 599 positive since the whole pandemic started. Here is the profile. 363 are not in isolation. 231 cases are in active isolation. Wow, that's quite a bit in active isolation. Okay, of those cases, 525 are classified as civilians and 74 are military service members. Their medical status, 217 are stable, 14 are hospitalized, and there's a note that the hospitalization rate is based on intake numbers reported by GMH and Naval Hospital. This number may be subject to change. 363 have been released, and there have been 5 deaths. This is since the start of the whole thing. The gender breakdown is 283 female, 316 male. You know, I wonder if our administration will ever do that whole, like there are 199 genders thing and start doing a gender breakdown that way. You know what I'm saying? Right? Would there be such a thing as like a Santa Rita female as opposed to a you know what I'm saying? Or like, because gender breakdowns now are, you can just make up anything. Like I'm a camera or something like that. Residential location, blah, blah, blah. Travel history, blah, blah, blah. Age group. Okay, age group. Of the, it looks like this is the total 599. Never mind that. That's stupid. Expanded COVID-19 testing continues. Public Health, in collaboration with GovGuam, the Mayor's Council, private and federal agencies, continues expanded COVID-19 testing. For the safety of the community and first responders, only 4 people are allowed to be tested per vehicle. Testing is free and open to the public while supplies last. Wow, it's like Christmas. No symptoms are needed to qualify for testing. Oh, that's a very important point. You don't need symptoms to qualify for testing. Please bring an ID if one is available. The community testing schedule is as follows. For drive-through or walk-in testing on Thursday, August 20th, that's tomorrow, right?
Yes.
This is only for Guma Tranquilidad residents. That's the Guma Tranquilidad. On Saturday, August 29th, from 9 to 12 at the St. Francis Church and School parking lot. On Saturday, September 5, from 9 to 12 at the Talafofo Gym in Talafofo, and Saturday, September 19, from 9 to 12 at the UMATIC Mayor's office. I guess those are the community testings, right? Those are the ones available for everybody?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we can go back to watching this train wreck called the Guam legislature. But I want to read a comment, though. This is a very interesting comment by Jeremy Rages. He wrote, speaking about Senator Regine Biscoli, he wrote, "Yes, Regine, remember how you and your husband and also my own cousin, Logan Rages, mocked me at Crust a few years back. You have no respect for the local people, especially veterans, when they have concerns about the cannabis program to help with my PTSD. You and your staff have been very unhelpful to the people of Guam. Don't try to come back and say your husband is a veteran. Homeboy was a phobit." What's a phobit? Can someone tell me what a phobit is? "He stayed on the base. He ain't no 11B. So don't compare your husband to me or my fellow infantrymen veterans. Popularity only lasts for so long. The people of Guam will see through all your BS. They probably already have. So if you want to run for senator, Do it because you want to serve the people and not just your friends and family. My veterans group is one of the biggest here on the island. We already separated the workers from the talkers. We'll see if you get reelected. Well, Jeremy, Senator Regine Lee is not running for reelection. She said it was for personal reasons. So, well, at least there's that.
That's my homeboy.
Jeremy?
Yep.
Can you ask him what a phobit means? And 11B?
I will.
And hold on. There was phobit, 11B. Yeah, that was it. All right, let's get back to this interesting Guam legislature train wreck.
Not participation to include voting virtually for some of our members would be allowed, because I think that's been our challenge. And again, we're going in circles, and this is the same kind of question that we've been having since the beginning of the pandemic. Thank you.
I noticed that Senator Torres, you made a comment there. I wanted to clarify exactly what you meant by that. Senator Torres, there are no objection to this motion, or is that the motion you're referring to, is to reset, end the virtual and go right into session for Monday?
Yeah, I was just saying, I didn't hear an objection, so I was wondering why we were calling for the vote, but maybe I misheard. I didn't hear an objection, so
No, there was no objection. It was just a motion by, I think it was Senator Amanda Shelton as to, or Senator Tina, that we amended, provided that that is clear to be able to go in.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay. We have Senator Will Castro. Yes, we want you to participate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to be clear, I want to state my position. Even the rights of the minority should be protected. I want to make it very clear that if you look at the circumstances surrounding my COVID positive situation, this is not to any fault of my own. So I'm going to plead to this body. I don't mind that you proceed in committee of the whole. I'm going to plead that you give me the privilege, the extended privilege to participate. As a matter of fact, I'm going to commit to testing between the 5 and 7 day window. But that's a right that's guaranteed to me as a member of this equal participating member of this body. So either way you look at it, I'm going to object to that pending the results of the legal counsel. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, I thank you for advocating for my participation.
All right, thank you. Senator Muñoz, you have something, Speaker Muñoz, Tina Muñoz Barnes, Speaker, do you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if I may, just based on the amendment made by Legislative Secretary, that motion's on the floor. If we ask everybody to vote on that, and then on the main motion by Senator Jim Moylan, as a matter of procedure, if the discussion is over, then we call for the roll call, because we are in virtual hearing that a roll call must be made for every motion here.
The speaker is way more baritone than Senator Will Castro. I just wanted to make that comment real fast.
So even for this, even there cannot be a no objection. It has to be voted on.
All right.
I would like the motion to, Mr. Chair, I'd like the motion to reflect, however, to allow members to participate virtually. If that's, in committee of the whole.
Let's start with the first motion. Stand by, Speaker.
I apologize, Mr. Chair. I apologize. If you could just, if I could ask for a brief recess to this discussion. It's my understanding that legal counsel is attempting to get in touch with you to further clarify. So.
All right, let's take a quick recess. Thank you.
This is the best. This is what people in the media just sit around and wait for, right? You can have 2 whole years of a legislature and you wait for a moment like this to happen. Right, Chelo? Isn't this why you never wanted to miss going to the legislature, because you just didn't know when a piece of history like this would be missed?
Right.
Boy, we were a few minutes behind in the live cast of this. I'm speeding up now, and
Chelo,
it looks... Huh?
Chelo, I got a response from Mr. Jeremy Regis.
Oh, what is it?
So, Fobbit is basically a person who I guess was a part of the deployment, but never was in combat. Never left the security of the base.
Oh,
and
okay,
never
okay.
and never saw combat. And then, as far as 11B, 11B stands for 11 Bravo, which is the infantry. These are the guys that were.
Oh, those are the hardcore ones.
Yeah.
Did you
Thank
know
you,
that?
Cello.
Did you know that John Ananich is a several tours combat veteran? Like, I think he went to war 3 times, and or 4 times, and 3 of those times was voluntary. And then I believe Vince Borja, who's also a candidate for senator, also is a combat veteran. Did you know that?
I believe I heard him talking about it.
So he would be like an 11B or something?
I guess that's something we'd have to ask if, he joins us in studio. Or
Yeah, I know, but we had to
virtually.
cancel on him because of COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, but we really do want to interview him.
For COVID?
Yeah, maybe we'll do a Zoom interview with Vince Borja. I'm very interested to know what his story is. Well, okay, so the legislature is, they signed off. They ended their live stream, even though they're just in a recess. Something big went down, and it has to do with some of the Democrats' attempts to restrict the legislature from making amendments to the budget that, by and large, is accepted by the administration, proposed by Senator Joseph Augustine's committee. They're all, what do you call it? Peas in a pod.
Right.
The most dangerous thing about the budget, I mean, aside from the rosy revenues, aside from that, the most dangerous thing is the underfunding of tax refunds. And then probably after that, the next dangerous thing would be the ability for the government of Guam to make good on its bond payments. Because it just seems like on top of the rosy revenues, there is... it's almost in their constitution not to make cuts to the government of Guam, whether to contracts or to personnel, or some sort of reduction, furlough of hours or reduction in force, even though it's pretty clear as day that something like that does need to happen in the upcoming year, maybe even by this year. But, who are we but civilians watching from the sidelines? We are not in the 11B of the Guam legislature's Zoom meetings.
We are the Fobbits of the Guam legislature.
Oh my gosh. Let's call Hello Taidagui.
Yes. Please and thank you.
Let's see. Hi, it's Kandit Land and Troy. Hey, can I call you? Do you have an iPhone?
Yes, I do.
Can I call you on FaceTime?
Sure.
Okay, bye. Hold on, let me turn on my FaceTime.
Hang on.
Let's get the 411 straight from Hello Taidagui.
Hold the line.
How do I do this? No, wrong one. Do I just put her name in? Is that how it works?
As long as it's saved in your contacts, right?
How come it's just audio? It just says audio. Let me try the other one.
Maybe if you call her...
I hardly do this FaceTime thing. Sorry, everyone.
Just answer. Maybe she could switch it to video.
Okay. I don't know. It's not using the videos thing.
Let me see if I can get you on FaceTime. Can you see that now?
Can you actually? Why don't you FaceTime me?
Okay, let me try.
Okay, bye. Okay, we're just waiting for a call. Hold on.
You seeing it there, Chella?
It's because of my Bluetooth, I think. I didn't have it on.
And it's over here.
It's over there?
Yeah.
No, it's not on my... It's not on my,
She just hung up.
Can you, I'll just call her from here.
Okay.
Sorry. No, WhatsApp won't cast to my screen. It's okay. We'll just do a phone conversation. So what was going down? What is it because the Democrats or some of the Democrats are trying to just ramrod the budget?
Well, what they're trying to do is go through this budget bill without having others participate. See, the members of Senator Joe Augustine's committee is made up of 11 people. So there are 4 of us that are not members of that committee. So we don't have a say.
Okay.
And there's only like 2 Republicans that sit on, 3 Republicans that sit on this committee. And the remaining is Democrats. So to allow the people like myself and Mary Flores, Sabina Paris, and one other senator who doesn't sit on this committee the opportunity to voice our concerns or to even vote on any motions is not being allowed to us.
Yeah.
So they're making decisions without allowing the full body, the 15 senators. And then they allowed for 6 members to be co-sponsors of an amendment. Number one, it's supposed to be 8. You need 8 votes in order to get anything passed, amendments or anything like that. So what was ironic during the conversation, and of course, I was just taken back because we all agreed that this markup meeting, we're all to go in there to listen to what EDMR has to say, listen to OFB, discuss the pages of the budget bill, per agency, and go through this and make known the intentions of senators to want to proffer an amendment. So when we get back to session, everybody knows what's going to happen. Now they changed the game. They changed the whole procedure. They're not letting some of us in on how they're changing it. So it's very disingenuous. It's undemocratic for us to allow us to go in there. To having the power of 6 for an amendment is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You need 8 for a majority of senators to vote on any kind of amendment. So you can just see I'm very passionate because whenever someone is trying to, muzzle you from stating your concerns and not allowing you the same opportunity as all the other senators, then of course I get passionate about it. But luckily for the members, all agreed not to do this. They voted no on this amendment, and that was, of course, Teresa Lagi, Jim Wayman voted no, Louise Munoz voted no, and Clint Jill. They know that this is very unfair.
Senator, what's going on with session? Are you guys going to be able to go into session, whether virtually or whatever? Because you guys have to pass a budget, right?
Yeah, by the end of the month, we have to pass it. That's why this is just like another hiccup. When you start putting dictatorship into the process, of course, there's been people who are going to speak up about it, and it's not moving us any closer to trying to finalize this budget. So right now, if you notice, we're in recess. Gosh, we still know how to recess, even on virtual. They're talking to, I know, right? That is so funny, right? Right now they're talking to legal to discuss this. And it's no surprise or secret that Senator Will Castro, unfortunately, contacted well, actually has COVID, and he is participating on this virtually. If we were to go back into session, that would leave one man down, and you don't leave a man behind, regardless if it's a
Well,
Democrat or
why couldn't Will Castro participate virtually?
Exactly. So that's what we're trying to finalize here, to make sure that he can do so, and that his concerns and his voice will count. Because what would happen, Klitzky put out this release and comment that it's inorganic for us to go into session virtually. So that he would sue anything that we try to ratify or vote on, that it doesn't count. So I think that someone really needs to start researching this to find out, considering the situation we are in and how other states are doing it in the mainland, how they're doing the same kind of thing, because they're trying to keep everybody safe or definitely not spread this COVID. So we're looking into it right now. It looks like we might be going back on to this virtual meeting, but someone's going to make a reconsideration about the amendment that's going on. So what you're seeing right now, Candid Land, is recess, which everyone's familiar with, because they're discussing about virtual, how to move forward on this. There are still people like Sabina Paris, myself, who is voicing concern, Jim Whalen, who is voicing concern. Okay, we're going back on.
You guys are getting back on?
From here on.
Yeah. We are. We're going to be watching. Yeah, let's watch. Okay, thanks, Senator. Okay, all right. I don't see it up yet. Refresh. No, not yet. Anything on your end? Negative. Guam legislature. Still love their YouTube channel. Oh, they're live. Hold on. I just got the notification. I don't know why it's not. Let me close it out. I don't want to miss any moment of this. I just got the notification on the regular phone. Let's see. You see it? I don't see it on mine. Oh, there. I see it now.
So there's no more debate on that. We're going to move now to the amendment or the motion that was brought up by Senator Moylan, which was to end this virtual and move session to Monday. We have an amendment proffered by Senator Amanda. Are you there? Okay. Senator Amanda was to provided that we have clearance from public health by Monday. And then we also had an amendment by Senator Therese to allow virtual of all other members that can make it for reasons like medical. And number one, I'm in full support of that we allow it. And when I spoke to legal, one of the biggest concerns they had was the Organic Act on reference to being present or not. So, and it was leading towards the vote. My recommendation is that when we do go to the committee of the whole, I'm in support of allowing everybody to participate. If you can't make it because of medical reasons or whatever, but we allow you to participate in virtual in our committee of the whole. But when we come to vote, I'm going to ask that because of legal's view, it may be not organic that you can vote, but you must be present. All right? So with that note, we will now begin with the first motion was from Senator Moylan. It is to end the virtual and have session Monday. Okay? And then it was amended. It was seconded by Senator Muñoz, and it was amended by Senator Amanda Shelton, and if I'm correct, I think Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes seconded. It was to allow that public health has to give us a clearance to do start on Monday, our session. I did get communication from the executive director, Joseph Sanogstein, that we can, but we'll wait for the full official clearance from Public Health as amended by Senator Amanda Shelton. And then after, we'll first, if we need to have discussion, we'll discuss the amendment of Senator Moylan's motion by Senator Amanda, unless I need to be corrected that we need to go to Senator Therese, but I think Senator Amanda's motion is first, and then Senator Therese Terlai is to allow the virtue of the other members. Okay, being that there's a motion, I see a lot of hands going up. I guess that means you want to discuss it, and I have no problem with that one. Let me see, whose hand went up first? I think I saw Senator Kelly. Okay, I'm looking out for hands now, okay, folks? My colleagues, and then I have Sabina after that. Senator Kelly, please.
So Joyce Mossy, Mr. Chair, and we may have covered it. It's just that we've kind of gone a little back and forth. So I just want to clarify that with the public health clearance, that is going to include that all of the staff who show up and all of the senators have indeed taken a test within an appropriate amount of time. That is part of the public health clearance. Is that the case?
I mean, whatever clearance they give us, I'm going to assume it's all the clearance as you stated, plus more maybe. I mean, we would have to wait and find and ask that question. What does the clearance entail before we? I mean, I'm hoping that by today or tomorrow we'll know exactly what the clearance is, because we might end up just coming back to virtual, doing the Zoom and continue on what we're really going to do, and move on. But at least it'll allow us to end the day, get the clearance, and prepare for Monday. All right? So whatever that clearance entails, we'll get the details from the executive director, Joseph Sanogstein. All right, Senator?
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that will be part of their consideration. I just wanted some reassurance there, but I'm sure it will be.
And I don't blame you. I would want the assurance too before I walk in there. Senator Sabina Paris, ma'am?
Before we went on recess, I made a motion. I would like to just withdraw that motion after speaking with legal.
All right. Thank you, Senator Paris. Does anybody have any objection to that withdrawal of the motion? I see none. Okay, so Senator Tello, ma'am.
Can you clarify
and then
withdrawal?
Therese. Oh wait, I beg your pardon, Senator Therese.
Withdrawal of what motion, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, that's my question.
Senator Sabina, if you can state it, I think it's the withdrawal of the reconsideration.
Yes, I wanted to reconsider the amendment since I was not present to vote, and I think it affords the opportunity, as we do in caucuses. I feel that we allow all the senators to be present before we make any motion. I want to actually, withdraw my motion, because after talking to legal, I was able to get clarification on what the amendment was. But maybe I could proffer another amendment in regards to ensuring that all members are present before we vote on amendments. If they're not excused, I wish to make that amendment to ensure that all members are present whenever amendments are being made.
All right, Senator Sabina, I think we'll hold off on that until we settle if we're going to end our virtual, if that's okay with you. So if we're going to end our virtual and we're going to go to the floor, that would be a great amendment on the floor, so to make sure everybody's present when we're voting and discussing any amendment.
Mr. Chair, if I may, we are discussing Senator Amanda's amendment to Senator Moylan's main motion. Am I right?
Yes, we were, but I wanted to allow Senator Sabina she made that withdrawal. So Senator Sabina, if you just finish it up and you understand where I was coming from on that, what I just stated?
Are we going to recess until Monday? Because I just want to make sure that.
Oh, you muted yourself. You accidentally.
I just want to make sure that, as we move forward, that, all members are present, or at least those that, if they're not excused, that they're given that opportunity to provide some input.
All right, I have no problem on that. If we continue on the virtual, then I will call you first. before we start it up, that we make that motion, so we make that assurance that everybody participates. Senator, hold on, Senator Lee. I got Senator Tello first, and then I'll be with you. Senator Tello, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, no, actually, the question Senator Shalahi asked, which motion, a reconsideration of the amendment. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Chair, okay, so we're still on Amanda's amendment, which is to wait till public health. That's the amendment. We're doing an amendment to the amendment, right? And that is Duenas and Amanda saying that we have to wait for clearance for public health. Public health, Mr. Chair, did not shut the legislature down. The legislature shut themselves down because and we go in and Joe does a great job. Director does a great job in going there and sanitizing the whole entire place. And then once it's sanitized, then we've been in there before when we've had other COVID positives in the legislature. So I don't understand why we need public health to allow us to go back into the legislature, because we've done it before. Remember, there was another positive at the legislature. So Joe made sure everything, and then we went in when everything was cleared. So I'm not quite sure on the amendment that Senator Amanda is talking about, but that amendment doesn't make any sense when all of a sudden, you know what I mean? We close it down, we can open it up. So that's
I understand, ma'am, but it's just an all precautionary steps. I think that's what Senator Amanda is taking. Whatever necessary steps we need to take. And like I said, I did speak with the executive director, and he said, so far as he's concerned, and he will double check, we're good to go. He'll just bring us that reassurance that even though we've had it before and we did shut ourselves down, we want to make sure that everybody stays safe. All right?
Okay, just wanted to verify.
Ambilight. Okay. Thank you, Senator Lee. Thank you, Senator.
This is like watching a student council.
And then I'll come back to you, Senator Teresa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to reiterate for the benefit of my colleagues that each time that the legislature decides to shut down, it's with the concurrence and with the advice of public health. So every time that we reopen,
this discussion is going absolutely nowhere.
Public health, and
This entire discussion is on how to go to session on Monday. That's what it is, right? You know, it's very simple. And the speaker is right there. The speaker, on her terms, on her conditions, can call session. It's really that simple. There's this, and watching these guys, a lot of them, it's like, see, this is an example, Kandit Land, of why it's important to not elect stupid people to the Guam legislature. Because, like, so there was this one point where the speaker was just tired of hearing everyone's debating. And so she said, and she has been there for many terms, so there's no excuse for her. She said, Mr. Chairman, can we just get on with the vote? And the chairman went back and said, well, there's these other people who want to talk. But if the speaker understood basic parliamentary procedures, the motion, which basically she made, it's called a motion for the previous question, is one of the highest motions that there is. It trumps any motion in a parliamentary process aside from the motion to recess and the motion to adjourn, and is undebatable. And once a motion like that is made, it must be put to a vote. And what the motion for a previous question is a motion to end all debate and move to the vote. Because when someone like the speaker was tired of hearing the debate, or feels that everything's just been worn out, there's no more reasoning left, you go for a vote called motion for a previous question. She just allowed the chairman of the committee to just trample over what was essentially her motion for the previous question, and the debate went on and on. It's still going on. They're still trying to decide what to do about opening session, and ironically, the speaker of the legislature could just make that decision herself. This is I love this so much. I love that you all stayed on with us so long. Thank you so much, you guys. We're gonna try to get Larry Rupley on the line live with us. We're gonna try to get Port General Manager Rory Respicio live on the line with us. So stay tuned for more of Kandit within the next couple hours.